What's up, everyone? I'm Shane Salinitri. I'm here with the team. This is Okay, What's Next? Today we're talking about what NFTs exactly are, why they're important, and why do gamers hate them. In addition to that, we're joined with a very special guest from the Goons of Balatroon, where we're going to talk about their project and everything they have planned for the future. Other than that, Nick, what do we got next?
Roll that intro, baby.
What's next? What's next? What's next?
Welcome. This is Okay, What's Next? Once again, I'm Shane Salinitri. I am joined, as always, with the man rocking the unbuttoned jersey.
Yes,
You're looking
sir.
good today. Nick Eccleston. How you doing, Nick?
How's it going, everybody? How you doing, Shane?
I'm doing good. To my left, Mr. Curly Q. Rocking that curly mustache like I've never seen it before. Mr. Cody. How you doing, Cody?
Happy to be here.
That's good. Cody, it's your time to shine now, boy. What do we got in this episode? Let's break it down.
All right, on this episode of Okay, What's Next, we are discussing why the world should care about NFTs and why the gaming community has such hatred for it, and especially the industry in it. Excuse me. We are also joined by a special guest from the Goons of Balatroon, where we will talk about how they delivered on their original roadmap and what they have planned for the future.
All right, that's exciting. I'm excited for this
Exciting.
interview.
I'm very excited.
The Goons of Balatroon they're a very strong project, and they're going to be here for a long time. They're doing everything
I agree.
right, so I'm really excited to talk.
I agree. You have goons, don't you?
I do. Actually, we got some of my goons on the wall right now with a couple of other goons from some of our viewers that volunteers sent them in, gave us their IP rights. We're not screenshotters over here. Technically, we did screenshot them to print them out, but we got full-on permission. So let's break this down. First topic of the day. Let's go down to the real basic of it. Put it into layman's term for everyone out there. What is an NFT? I want to really break this down so people, if we do have any new viewers out there, they understand, hey, this is what it is, and this is what it does, what it can do for me. So, do you wanna pick this up?
I've tried to explain it to a lot of my friends who have no idea what an NFT is, and a lot of my friends, they ask, "Oh, what do you do for work now?" And it's like, I ask them first, I'm like, "Do you know what an NFT is?" And they're like, "No," and I'm like, "I'm not even gonna bother trying to explain it. Just know that I'm in the media." But the best way for me to explain it in the way that it's kind of worked is I give people the example of Bitcoin because everybody knows Bitcoin.
Yep.
And I say, I have a Bitcoin and you have a Bitcoin. Bitcoin's profit, worth, is like $2,000, for example.
Yep.
They're both worth $2,000. But with an NFT it's just like if I have an NFT, you have an NFT from the same collection. Mine could be worth $100,000. Yours can be worth $10,000 or so.
Okay, this is a perfect example of the show. How truly hard it is to describe what an NFT is, because honestly, that was a terrible definition.
That's the thing is
it's so hard to put into words in some new technology like this. So let me take my stab at this, and
go for it.
Cody, I'll let you get your thoughts together, and we'll send it to you next. So if we really want to put it into what it stands for, it's non-fungible token.
Yeah.
As we know, people don't even know what the word fungible means. So let's put it into super layman's terms. If we look at Fortnite, all of the skins in Fortnite, there's pretty much unlimited of them. Those are not non-fungible because you don't actually own that skin. So the easiest way, and a lot of people get confused because of the digital art aspect, it's basically a digital certificate of authenticity. That's the easiest way I look at it, where it's basically if you're buying, it could be a serial number, you're buying a certificate that says you own this, and it's all on the blockchain, which obviously we can go into what the blockchain is, but it's basically just like an online database of who owns it, who owned it last, what it sold for, all that. It's just super in-depth history. And basically, you're purchasing a certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
That's attached to a piece of art. It's always attached to a piece of art for the most part, and then that has utilities to it as well. Cody, let's get your definition of this and how
right.
you consider what you consider an NFT.
I'm going to build off of what you said, Shane, because I definitely know you hit a lot of good points, and I agree with you on like that, right? Digital aspect and the art, we're going to leave to the side. Like you said, digital receipt. That is pretty much what it is. It's the receipt saying, hey, you actually own what you technically bought. Now, just to hit into a little blockchain for that too, is the blockchain is like you said, like the receipt you would get at any store, but everyone could see that receipt and it's everybody's receipt. So this quick example of that. So NFT, right? Non-fungible token.
Well, let's go into that real quick, just so everyone knows, if you're not familiar. Anything that is purchased on the blockchain, like Cody said, it's a receipt for everyone. So anyone could access. You can type in their wallet address if you have that address, and you can pull up all of their transactions, who they sent it to, what they paid, what the gas fee was, everything. It's very in-depth.
Well, if you think about it, though, that's kind of scary because it's like, it's kind of a violation of privacy if you really think about it. I get it.
Everything's decentralized.
I get it that you kind of want to show it off once you do purchase it. A lot of people like to do that, but it's like if I buy one NFT and it's like, I really just, I want it for me, people being able to look up my wallet address and see that I purchased that NFT, what I purchased it for, and all this kind of stuff. It's a little scary.
I get it, and that's what a lot of people like about it, is that it's decentralized. So Cody,
very valid argument.
Go back to your point.
So getting back to my point, pretty much, right? So that's the whole blockchain portion of it, and it's your digital receipt. Now, the NFT non-fungible token part, it's the art aspect that no one gets, and it's like, because it's all different, and it's, oh, here's a cow, here's a frog, we get it, animals, stuff like that, Bored at Yacht Club, a lot of apes. Ignoring, like you said, ignoring the art aspect of it, it could be anything. You could tie it to any kind of document, say a medical document, right? Obviously, you won't show that, but it's like, hey, here's your receipt of this. Now you physically own it, and like Nick said, anyone could see that receipt. Everyone could see that you own this now, and no one can copy that exact one because it's a digital code of 20 or so different characters, if not more. And it's very encrypted like that, but it's still decentralized where people could view and see, oh, hey, this person with this wallet owns exactly that. And that's the whole point of it. It's all about ownership.
Exactly.
And that's what NFTs technically are. Obviously, people are stuck on that gimmicky, like, oh, it's just art and stuff like that. It's just misconceptions. Yeah.
They're caught on the art aspect. And that's what, eventually I personally think, and we'll get into this as we dive into this conversation a little bit more, I think we're going to shift away from the art and see more certificates of authenticity for signed jerseys, things like that. Maybe car titles for cars, deeds, all that stuff. I don't want to dive into that too much because I do want to keep the conversation and going in the same direction. So why are NFTs important? What value do they bring? Because that's a lot of people, they think, oh, I'm buying a piece of digital art. Like what does it mean? Why do I need a picture of, I don't know, a bear smoking a bogue? Like, why do I need that?
Yeah, well, Shane, a lot of people don't realize that NFTs aren't just art. It's not just the art that you're receiving. You're receiving certain perks set forth by the project founder. There's different projects out there that give you, incentives. So, for example...
The utility.
Exactly, the utility. So, for example, Ether Brews. Very...
Cool project, very
cool project. Not only do you get their digital art, on top of it, you get access to free tours and free drinks to hundreds of breweries around the world.
Tons of breweries around the world.
A lot,
yeah.
Another one, for example, Rare Shoe, another great project. Mm-hmm. They're releasing, I believe they're released. I'm not sure if they've delivered them yet.
I don't think they were actually delivered yet.
Exactly.
They went into production on them though.
Yeah, they have wearable shoes, like actual real life shoes that they send out. And, there's a lot of talk on Twitter with like pictures and stuff like that of the founder who has a pair like in his possession.
They're pretty cool.
Exactly. They're really cool, and that's just one way that NFTs can impact the world other than just digital art.
So here's a question to you, Nick, right? With what you're saying, pretty much what you described with the whole beer aspect is they're technically paying the NFT, and it's a membership, like a subscription.
Exactly. Great point.
Right? So you're pretty much buying into it, and now it's a little more secure than a subscription, than it's just an email password, because that could get taken, stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's Web3.
Exactly. Web3
more secure.
it's a more secure web subscription now, and now you're getting something off of it, but it's more of a money making thing as well, depending on what you're getting with utility.
Yeah. See, the one thing that I noticed when I was kind of looking through some stuff is, if you really put into simpler terms of like everyday use, when people buy concert tickets, the whole point of buying the concert ticket is to go see your favorite artist. Mm-hmm. That's what the incentive is of paying, $300, $400, $500 for a concert ticket. Now, when you purchase into an NFT, you still get a same kind of incentive. You get something out of it. It's not just owning the NFT and like investing in it and trying to make money on it. You get incentives along with it.
Yep. And how many times, like, I don't know if this happened to you. It's happened to me a couple times where you buy tickets to something and they get lost in your email or there's some type of typo or something like that.
Or they cancel the whole thing.
There could always be a mistake, but I'm going down the point of what if the ticket is an NFT? And then we're going to any type of physical form could be an NFT. And this is, I don't want to dive into it too much, like I said, because we're going to talk about this in the next question I give you guys. But let's talk about the value right now. What's going on with the war in Ukraine?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's
a big topic.
It's a terrible situation.
Talk about it. It's like,
terrible situation, but it's really interesting how NFTs and cryptocurrency are being utilized.
Yeah.
So, what?
First thing I want to say, my heart goes out to everyone in Ukraine, all the families, everybody around Ukraine. They're losing houses. You know, everyone's having to leave. My heart goes out to it, and I pray for them every day. But cryptocurrency and NFTs in general have made such a big impact going forward. There's roughly a little over 40 million.
I think they're up to 60 million now.
Now they're up to 60.
Up to $60
million in Bitcoin and Ethereum donations going into Ukraine.
Someone donated a CryptoPunk.
Really?
$200,000 CryptoPunk. Someone donated.
See, it's making such a big impact, and the big thing about it is, with cryptocurrency, is it's universal. So you don't have to, if somebody donated $40 million American USD, they would have to convert it and it wouldn't quite match up and, this, that, and the third. But cryptocurrency and NFTs, they're universal. So it makes such a big impact because it allows people to kind of invest in and donate and, help in any way that they can. And with cryptocurrency and NFTs and all that kind of stuff really making the limelight these days, it really helps out.
I'm trying to pull up, maybe Cody, you could look this up. There's an image that I saw earlier today. I couldn't find it on my phone just now. It's all the things that they bought, because it's not just weapons they're purchasing. This was a graphic I saw on Twitter. You could probably Google it. But it was all the things that all the money donated, what it got for them. And it was pretty cool to see. Let's see if this is the article. It was, if I'm spitballing numbers, it was about, one of the items was like 1,400 lunches. It was bulletproof vests, night vision goggles, a ton of different things. I don't have the exact numbers right now. We don't have the graphic up, but we'll put the graphic on screen. And then for you audio listeners, once we get it up, we'll read it to you. But it was very interesting seeing this, and everyone just thinks, oh, it's going towards buying weapons. We got to fight back. But it's a lot of things that are just helping in general, and really helping their efforts as they're going through something that's really terrible. But it's a perfect example of where there is value in the world. And it's crazy because cryptocurrency is decentralized. So anyone that complains about cryptocurrency, this is my whole thing on it. It's very difficult when your country is under attack. Their banks are being attacked. There's it's modern warfare now where technology is a thing. They will take down your whole country's infrastructure. And I believe that's what happened. A lot of people lost a lot of money.
Yep.
I remember hearing a story about one guy who all he has left now is he had some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, and he had a Bored Ape. So obviously, that is worth. We all know what a Bored Ape is worth. For you new listeners out there, I believe the floor price right now of a Bored Ape is probably around 300 grand.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few of them that have gone for.
Oh, there it is. That's the one. All right, so let's read this off right now. So, funds collected by the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine. So, this is basically what they use the money on. So, 5,550 bulletproof vests, 500 ballistic plates for bulletproof vests. I have no clue what those are.
It's the plates that go inside the vest.
Goes inside. Okay.
Those of you guys that play Warzone out there.
I was way off. I said 4,000. I said 1,400 pack lunches. 410,000 pack lunches, nearly 500,000. 315 thermal image optics. Are those night vision goggles?
No, thermal image optics goes on the guns. They go
on the guns?
Your scopes.
Yeah, and I believe that says 3,100.
I said 3,100.
You said
Yeah, you said 3,100.
3,100. That's 3,100.
Sorry.
something different.
All right, 500 helmets. 3,427 medicines.
It could be any medical supplies.
Any
stuff
medical
like that.
supplies, and then 60 walkie-talkies. So, really interesting seeing the exact numbers of where that money's being spent. And what is the name of that? It's the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, because they are also the ones that are actually launching the NFT collection.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the chart, I mean, these things aren't cheap. You know, I mean, Cody, being the military man you are, like, do you have a rough estimate of like how much a bulletproof vest is?
Put it this way, with government in any kind of sense, anything they buy is usually going to be higher priced, even though they buy bulk. So it's like, as horrible as it is, think of like a pen. My military pen that I have. Guess how much this cost? About $40-$50 per.
Well, yeah, but it's
Why not?
probably, you know, to the general public, you can get the same kind of pen for like dollars.
Probably, but I mean, the reason why is
Wait. I'm sorry. I was looking up some more info on this NFT collection just now. Did you say that pen is $50? Yeah. Are you kidding me, dude?
It probably around the supply. I had it like I was the one that bought.
Did you pay for that pen?
No, I issued. They get you get them.
They get issued though.
$50 for a pack of pens.
Ready? Here's why. It's black. It's covert. It can be written upside down and underwater. That was the whole point of it. Did I need
so
it? Absolutely not. But we got it.
So you're saying this is like a pen that writes underwater?
Cody, correct me if I'm wrong though. You never had to touch water when you were in the military.
No.
So why do you need a pen that writes underwater?
Exactly.
I mean, regardless of the fact if he needs it or not.
It's the idea, though. Anytime the military will buy something, it's usually going to be way more expensive than normal. That's government stuff. Now, I can't say that about foreign governments and foreign militaries, so I'm not entirely sure. It's just from my experience, it's usually been that case. And it's not that they're spending frivolously. It's just because they have the budget, so they're going to go up above and beyond with it. It's the idea.
All I have to say is, I know what pen I'm taking from the office. Why, Cody? Hey, Cody, why is this expensive? It's black. It's covert. Okay, so let's talk about this NFT collection.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna butcher a name right now. So Ukraine's Deputy Minister of Digital Transformation, Alex Bornyakov.
Let me give it a try.
Bornyakov.
Let me give it a try.
I'm really bad with names. I've been saying your name wrong.
Bornyakov.
Bornyakov. It flows.
Hopefully, we're saying it right. But either way, continue.
Regardless, so he is the Deputy Minister of Digital Transformation, and he's basically in charge of this NFT collection that they're going to be launching. And basically, the goal of it is to tell the story of this invasion through NFTs.
Yep.
And then obviously, all of those funds are going to be used to basically aid them and give them the support and the funds they need to basically
Now,
fight off this invasion.
has it been announced what the actual NFTs are going to be?
No, so it hasn't. So the quote here is the NFT collection will be like a museum of the Russian-Ukraine war.
Okay. I mean, I'm kind of curious if they're going to take the route, how NFL All Day did, where it's like clips and stuff like that. I mean, you never know.
It's
If you look at
gonna
it,
be, when you say that, I'm thinking like I don't think it's going to be highlights. like things like that.
I mean, you look at the video of the Ghost of Kiev.
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking of.
Like, that's what I'm saying,
Is it
like-
gonna be like a highlight of him like?
There's a video of
I know,
him
I've seen the videos.
blowing up a Russian plane. You know, that could be sold as an NFT.
It probably will be. I think it's gonna be done more tastefully, where it's. I mean, are there? Did you just bring up?
Cody pulled up the pen.
I wanted to make sure about the price. It was
what
about
was the price point?
that,
of the
that
pen?
one was $43.
$43. Okay,
$43,
That's
okay.
Cody. You were spot
Hey,
on with
it's
that.
a nice pen. I love this pen. It's
All right.
three different.
All
It's
right.
pencil.
Let's move on. from
I got to
the
talk about
Let's
it.
go back to the NFT museum. So I think they're going to be done more tastefully. It's basically I picture it to be more like a textbook where it's like you look at the textbooks from high school and you look at World War II. You're not seeing like people getting their heads blown off. It's like
Well, yeah, no, it's going to be
images
more.
like that. It's going to be something along the lines of that. And
It's going to be more family friendly stuff. But I mean, you can look at, you know, there's a show on History Channel, I believe it is. It's World War II in color, and it's like all clips of like World War II and like, you know, not necessarily you're not seeing people get blown up and you're not seeing, you know, people die, but you know, it's still clips of like the army rolling out and like the tanks rolling out and like stuff kind of like that and like soldiers on march and like all that kind of stuff. So I'm curious if they're gonna utilize clips like that because it is 2022.
yeah.
Everyone has phones. Everyone has cameras.
Well, it's crazy. TikTok, and sorry to cut you off, Cody. TikTok, this is like, I guess, the first true war in the modern era.
Yeah.
And I've seen TikToks of people like coming down in parachutes. And like,
Yeah, that was a.
is that what you're going to say?
That's what I was gonna say. Is this war is literally being documented through TikTok. Unlike the past wars, this is like because it's the younger generation and it's internet. Literally, you have soldiers taking TikToks, specifically Russian soldiers, parachuting down, invading the country, and they're laughing. It's just like that's ridiculous
Well, I mean,
to me.
if you look at the
It's
video,
crazy.
if you look at the video that went viral on TikTok, it was one of the first viral videos from the war. There was may they rest in peace today, but there was a group of Ukrainian soldiers being yelled at over intercom from a Russian battleship, and saying basically like, "Stop! Don't move! Drop your guns! Surrender, or we will open fire." And the guy who was the captain of the group kind of turned and was like, "Should I tell him to fuck off?" And
Oh,
they were
really?
all laughing, and he went on his intercom and he was like, "Fuck off!" And like, may they rest in peace because they did pass.
I mean,
But
they're not going out softly. And
Even the civilians are like
putting up a
going,
fight.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, I saw that the Ukrainian president is actually out there fighting as well.
You
I
seen
don't
clips
think-
of that? I've
I
seen
don't know.
that.
Was that real?
Yeah,
Was it?
no, he's been very active.
I still need to vet that, but like
I'm
I've been
pretty
seeing
sure that
so
was a
much.
training exercise, I thought.
That's what it
It
looked,
looked like a
and I
training
was calling
exercise.
that.
Well, regardless, it's cool to see, and it's they need to, and that's part of what they said is going to be in this NFT museum is like immediate clips of telling the story. So they're most likely going to be taking like the news sources that were reporting on certain aspects and convert those into NFTs, where basically the whole thing is just put into like a story format in a sense. So like we're not going to be getting art recreated. It might be news clips like that. Yeah. So it is crazy. Did I cut you off? Were you
No,
making
no,
a
no,
point?
no. I was gonna say. I was gonna agree with you. They probably maybe do some memorials after, like if this war does end, and hopefully it does end peacefully. If not, we'll see. Obviously later down the road, but obviously if there's memorials built, I could see them doing NFTs about that.
Yeah.
Some of the other things
They're
that
gonna dive into this. And
I wanted to say too. Did you see the story about the one guy that hijacked the tank from the Germans?
From the Russians.
Russians. I'm sorry. War. Damn it. No, excuse me. My bad. Russians.
from the Germans.
No.
I
Okay. No. So it was funny. There was a whole story about it where they left it on the side of the road because it was broken down or whatever, and the guy fixed it and stole it, and they were trying to run after him, and he was selling it on eBay for like $43 million.
Well, yeah, no, I've seen.
Yeah. The guy has a tank
I've seen
now.
they left.
Lower your volume a little bit on your mixer. Yeah, good.
They
You're getting excited about this. That's why.
Oh no, it's mad funny, but it's like things are really happening.
It's
They're
no,
fighting back.
it's crazy. It's crazy things, and it is very cool. I don't want to say it's cool.
No, no.
It's
While I
interesting
agree,
and good to see a new wave of technology and an industry that people were not really into. It's a brand new industry. Seeing it play a big factor in this war, and it's saving lives. It's helping a lot of people, and it's great to see.
Well, I mean, if you've seen any of the news, the reporters that are in Ukraine right now, I mean, they have pictures and videos of all the major cities, and they're all getting destroyed left and right. Buildings are going down. Apartment buildings are getting blown up. All this money that they could raise from this NFT project, and along with the 40-ish million, $60-ish million donations.
Bored Ape Yacht Club, hold as a Bored Ape. I'm sure it's probably more by now. They donated over $1 million. The founders of Bored Ape Yacht Club, they ended up matching, and so just from Bored Ape and the Bored Ape holders, that's $2 million.
Yeah,
that goes straight, and other projects are following in suit. I know the Goons are doing something like that. When we get into our interview, we'll dive into that a little bit more. But yeah, it's a good point because this brings us to our next subject.
Yep.
How can you see NFTs being implemented into the world where they have true value, where it's things that you'll actually be like, hey, it makes way more sense using an NFT here than using whatever it's going to be,
Before hopping into that, I just want to quickly say, too, even though we are joking about some of the clips that we saw in the war is never good. It's horrible. So, like I said, we may be joking around. We thought some of these are funny. Keep in mind, we don't disagree with the war completely. It's never good.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation that's happening there. Like,
exactly.
Continuing to your point, Shane, on how NFTs could, be different in the world. Like you said, it's the technology behind them that we could utilize in other ways than just NFTs, right? So, like you said, it's a digital receipt that you could actually have something and it shows record. That's where I brought up the medical record document or something like that, where you have official documents. Obviously, you don't want people to see that specific document, so maybe there's a little transparency in a different way we could use it. But you should be able to maybe transfer documents, subscriptions, like I said, other things like this, now that it could be more secure digital on a blockchain, and you can identify who exactly owns this now. And we could use it in ways that way, not just with NFTs, but that kind of idea.
It could be used. There's a lot of ways that it can be utilized in the real world, like legitly. One of them could be like concert tickets from now on. Instead of getting a physical ticket, you get your digital ticket through NFTs. You buy into the NFT, you buy into the ticket, and then that's used as your entry into the concert. And that way they can actually say, you can't really scalp those.
Yeah.
You can't sell a fake NFT through the blockchain.
There has to be something that is a negative that this would offer a benefit. And the immediate thing that I see is, like you said, fake tickets. What is another thing that we can think of off the top of our heads that gets faked on a regular basis?
Art.
And exactly, it gets faked on a regular basis and it's sold for value. Art is a perfect example. People are already talking about, obviously we see things going in the digital art realm.
Yep.
And that's how this whole thing started. There's now situations where maybe a physical piece of art will be connected to an NFT, where then there's no way to fake it. It has its serial number, and I'm sure there's still ways where you can I don't know, put the fake serial number, but essentially you see where it's sold for, what the value is, all of that stuff. I'm not really big into the physical art scene, so I can't talk on that too much, but I really see car titles. Transfer ownership would be so much simpler.
Yeah. I mean, it could even be, designer clothing. There's a lot of fake Supreme, a lot of fake Gucci, fake Louis. All these designer clothing.
If your shirt is registered on the blockchain.
It's got to be real.
Everyone know, like the pocketbooks people buy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like sometimes like $8,000. I think that's crazy, but I mean, if you got the money and you want a designer bag.
Well, yeah, but maybe we should start holding some of these people accountable, and we should be able to call people out for buying these fake $50 pocketbooks and jewelry that you find on the streets of New York City.
Imagine just going
Yeezys.
Imagine going off with a little QR code, snap a picture of it, and then right there you have the full record.
So you're saying like a QR code, barcode, or something like that is what you're saying or something?
Yeah, you could see.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Those
Take
can
a
be
picture
fake
of it
too,
and
like,
then
you
right
gotta
there.
understand, this
No,
day-
but you can't because, I mean, there's a way to fake anything, I guess, these days, but it's going to register right there on the blockchain. You're going to see the full record of where it sold, so you could really dig into it and be like, wait, this doesn't line up.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, though, the big question now is, who cares? Like, are you going to be the one that's like, all right, you're wearing that piece of art is fake, or that's a fake Supreme
it happens
shirt.
all the time.
I get that. It's the idea, though, is how far and how, like, obviously this is going to be a lot. NFTs are going to change the future in a sense of, like, how things are going to be. What I feel is the big difference now, especially with metaverses come up and we start actually getting VR into it, or, like, when technology gets more advanced, where we, round one, or it's not round one, the,
Dave and Buster's?
no, the
You love round
the
one,
movie.
don't you?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, where it's like if we get into that zone where it's like finally it gets to that advanced level, the stuff you own in that would be
And,
NFTs,
yeah,
and then
think about
that
it with
way you can
Fortnite.
verify.
Think about it with Fortnite, all the skins. If each skin was pretty much unique, and then all of a sudden, let's say Ninja, famous gamer, famous Fortnite player, he owns that skin. You see it on the record, he was a previous owner. That skin is so much more valuable. That specific one. Skin number John Wick 22895. Skin number. That's so much more valuable now. And that brings us to our next topic, which I'm dealing with a couple gamers here. Why do gamers hate NFTs? There is so much hatred there. And before we dive into this topic, I got a little treat for y'all.
Really?
Bringing in our special guest. Our first special guest, not our main special guest. This is a regular special guest. Our Norwegian robot, Mr. Elias. Bring him in! Elias, hello.
Ja, gutta, hvordan går det?
You can go.
Jeg er sykt spent for å være sykt glad for å være med på showet.
Hey, how's it going, Elias?
Little hand for our.
Hvordan går det, folkens?
What was that?
Det er
Elias?
sykt kult.
Shane, what the fuck is he saying?
Hva,
Gotta put him on English mode.
It's-
Gotta put him on English mode. All right, Elias,
Alright,
we
Elias,
got
you
you.
there?
Yo, guys, how are you?
there we got it.
Elias, welcome to the
Wait, what
show.
happened?
Welcome to the show.
I think you were in Norwegian mode.
We had the settings all messed up.
Shit. I'm so
What?
excited to be here.
Yeah, welcome to Okay, What's Next? This is your first appearance, your regularly scheduled appearance. You're gonna be a regular on the show, see every episode, get your takes on some stuff, and yeah, just talk to our favorite robot in all of the land.
Yes,
The,
sir, I love you guys.
Yeah, Elias is the best thing out of Norway since snow. So let's kick things off. So what we're talking about, Elias, is why do gamers hate NFTs? We seen the memes. We see all the stuff about screenshots. I get annoyed at it. Are they not educated? Is that offensive to say? Let's get some of the takes.
I have
who,
a lot
who
to
wants to
say
kick
on
it off?
that.
Cody,
I-
Nick, Mr. Robot. Who wants to start things off?
I'll start this off because I have
Alright, Cody.
so much to say about
Cody,
this.
kick this off.
As an avid gamer myself, right? And you said something like, "Oh, they're," and no, it's not the case. It's misinformed on a high level, and the problem is they listen to all their friends, they listen to their communities, and once one person hates it, and then people will start listening. It's just they're misinformed, right? Some of the big reasons gamers hate them, and it's scams are rampant, which are true. Scams are rampant, and it scares a lot of people off right off the bat.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest ones. I hear people all the time. The second one is it ruins their environment, and this is also a big topic that a lot of people just hate about NFTs. And stuff
Yeah,
like that.
cryptocurrency, bad for the environment, blah blah blah. Bitcoin grows on trees, burns down the ecosystem, whatever.
Yeah, so there's that. It's more of a mining issue for power consumption.
Yeah,
but-
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was obviously a joke. There's for those of you that don't know, there are ways that this is like being defeated. Polygon is one of them. There's new blockchains out there that are combating the fact that they don't need that energy consumption. So continue your point, Cody.
That's what I'm getting at is we know this because we looked into it. The problem is the typical gamer and stuff like that in these communities, once you say NFT, they stop listening to
Well, that
you.
was my point. I said they're uneducated.
It's
they don't
Well,
know.
it's not okay.
misinformed as
it's-
well.
They're uneducated. They don't have the open. They don't have the openness to just go for it and try to learn. Nick,
Well,
say your
yes.
point.
See, this is the thing. This is what I wanted to get into. It's not necessarily NFTs, just NFTs. It's cryptocurrency in general, and the reasoning behind it is when cryptocurrency first came out, there was no platform for you to purchase it on. All you were able to do is mine it, and from not only myself, not only Cody, but a little bit of research and background into the gaming industry and like what gamers feel about cryptocurrency. A lot of them don't like it simply because you have to mine it, and in order to mine it, at least the big ones that are worth mining, like Bitcoin and Ethereum and those kind of cryptocurrencies, you have to have a chain of very high performance graphics cards for the computer in order for it to mine it, which is causing huge out of stock all over the place. I mean,
And it directly affects the gamer.
And
Exactly.
This
And
wasn't more of an
it's-
early one. This is more like
Yeah.
towards the later problems that we're facing now, right? Because getting the chips for the graphics cards now is impossible. People trying to build computers, you're not going to find it.
That's exactly what I'm trying to
it's
get
happening.
into, though. That people wait months, maybe even years, to get their hands on a 30 series NVIDIA graphics card, and I mean, I looked last night. Best Buy sold out for months. Newegg, which is one of the bigger websites for computer supplies, sold out for months. You can't. And the thing that really upsets me and pisses me off is the fact that these crypto miners, they have bots set up so the second they come into stock, they're all bought out and immediately out of stock again.
And what's crazy though, it's not even the graphics cards. This is affecting because it's a chip on the graphics cards that's getting sold and stuff like that. Cars are having an issue.
Yep.
Because newer cars can't get the chip. PlayStation, you saw this with the new console. Literally, you couldn't get the new console because they couldn't get the chip for the card in the system because it was being used elsewhere.
Okay. All right, so I get it. So it's a direct relation. The issue is they're kind of salty. They can't get their hands on these graphic cards. They're going.
Well, it's not that they're salty.
But I want to. Okay, so we'll go back to that. Elias, what is your take on this?
I have a couple questions for you guys because I'm not sure, to be honest, and I'm thinking, could it be that because it makes total sense that gamers should be into NFTs and that gaming should be a huge part of NFTs because of the play to earn and all that. So a question is, are the games out right now too boring for gamers to take part in because there are already so many good games out there? Are the NFT play to earn games, too boring for gamers to join?
That's a
Great question.
I will.
And Elias, just not to cut you off, Elias, the way we roll here, we cut each other off whenever we want. Do not be afraid to
course.
speak over all of us.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Let that voice rip into that mic.
I really want to touch on this as being, one of the hosts of D3 Gaming. The NFT games, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've spent a lot of time going through these NFT games and looking into them and playing them. I have yet to find one that I really, really want to deep dive into and enjoy for hours.
Really?
I get Cody found one when he, the episode hasn't released yet, but you guys will see it, of me and Cody playing the card game. Cody enjoys those games.
Gods Unchained. Gods Unchained.
Gods Unchained. Cody enjoys those card games regularly. I haven't found a game yet that I would be willing to deep dive into to be able to play for hours on end, as in regular video games like I play now.
So I got one for you. There's a news article out, right? It's a AAA game that's coming out. It's unlike the other one that you found that was a Steam-based game and then it went into crypto. No, this is a game being developed by a AAA company. So you played Cyberpunk, right?
I didn't like it, but yes.
Of course, it was a big old flop. But this game is called Delicium, right? Listen to this. It's the first AAA MMO game for Web3, play to earn. They made $4 million in a private sale that they have done for it. The idea
Was that selling NFTs, or was that just a regular? And first of all, let's go back. Explain for our viewers out there what is a AAA. I hear AAA. I think car repair.
All right, so
what is a AAA?
So here's the
I don't
thing.
know.
Shane's that mobile gamer. So
I'm not a gamer.
We'll
I'm not a
explain.
gamer.
So a AAA company or a game in a sense is just a thing saying, hey, our game was made by a very high value, high budgeted company backing it in a sense like that. So it's the development team behind the game had a lot of money, had a lot of budget, and they're well known. That's what makes it a AAA game. So we know a lot of money, especially with this $4 million getting backed into this, it's going to be big. Now listen to how this is going to be played out. And they said it's a cool little thing. It's going to play like the game I said before. The
Gods Unchained.
No. What was the?
It's Mira or Mir 4. It's MIR 4. It's an MMO. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Not that one.
That's the one that's on Steam. That is now an NFT game.
I don't even know what an MMO is.
Massive multiplayer online.
Like Grand Theft Auto?
No.
No, like Call of Duty.
It's gonna play
MMO. It's like World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like third person, you're watching a guy go around.
Well, no. It's the fact. It's an MMO is the fact that there's thousands of people in the same game.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So everyone's
Everyone's in the exact same
I
game.
thought,
that's why
I
you
thought
say-
Grand Theft Auto was like.
So that's why you say MMO RPG role playing game after it. So it's massive multiplayer, but it's role playing. No, this is
okay.
like Cyberpunk. It's gonna play like this, and that kind of is what they described. But it's a land where you have the in real lifers, which is us as the players, versus the NPCs, which are the crypto people in the sense because it's a crypto land.
Okay.
That's the way they base it off of. But they did it this. You can not own land, but you can build houses. You can build your character's cybernetic arms as NFTs, and you get to create what they look
Okay,
like.
So that's the NFT. That's what the
Okay.
NFT is.
They are
Your
literally
character in your land.
They are literally giving you all the capabilities to craft and do whatever you want. This is literally going to be like Ready Player One as a game.
It's definitely something to look into, but I'm really curious if they're gonna do it right or not. And Elias, correct me if I'm wrong. You're a big CS:GO player, correct?
I used to be very into CS:GO. And
What is that, Elias? Explain to some of our viewers that aren't familiar.
okay, so CS:GO is for short, no, Counter Strike, and
Counter
it's
Strike. Okay.
yeah, it's like a team versus team game where you have to plant the bomb, and you have to you're on a map and you play against a different team. You're like a team of 5, and then you have to either kill all of the people on the other team, or you have to defuse the bomb or plant the bomb.
Okay.
So and in the game, there are a bunch of the hype thing around the game is that you can own skins, or your guns can have skins on them. So you can have and there are a bunch of rarities to them, and you can actually sell them on the Steam marketplace and all that. But you have them in your inventory, and you can use them on your guns, and you can get them from games, and you can open them in cases that you have to buy. So it's kind of like NFTs in a way.
Okay. Now that's strictly. I'm drawing a blank on that. That's strictly aesthetic, right? It's only for looks.
They're just they're cosmetic.
Yeah, of course.
Is that-
There's no perks of having the skins other than that they look cool and you can flex them. To
So on that
the
point, right,
players.
exactly what you're saying and getting to, Nick, I see where you're getting with this.
Yeah.
So what he brought up with the aesthetic look, right, and the reason why they did it well, and they allow that kind of remote transaction for CS:GO, a game, Activision, or was it Activision? It was EA Games. They had Battlefront 2, and they did it where you could buy guns or whatever that pass was, and the gun you bought was overpowered, and it made the game ruined because it was paid to
So
win.
they made certain guns were
pay-to-win.
NFTs.
And that's
Certain
the biggest
guns were
issue, and that's why
NFTs.
gamers
It's
hate it
play
too.
to win. So it
Yeah.
needs to be. It's going to be a thing where if we go back to Fortnite, the battle pass, that's an NFT, and it would be cool if
Yes. See, the thing with the one thing that gets very sketchy with skins and stuff is because each skin, whether it's male, female, or Fortnite terms, it could be crocodile, whatever it may be, the hitboxes are different. That's one thing that went into Warzone when I was playing Warzone very competitively. That was one thing that plays into it. That's why you see a lot of these bigger streamers and a lot of these pros, they use female characters because the hitbox is smaller than the male character.
their body is smaller.
Their
so
body
it's
is
harder.
physically
That's
slender.
dumb. So
and-
even though it is cosmetic, it really does give you a
Exactly.
little bit of advantage.
That's the
Well-
thing with games, though. The little things like that affect it.
Well, that's why pros deep dive so deep into these games to get the most competitive edge. Warzone pros, there's one skin, for those of you guys that are watching that play Warzone and Call of Duty, the Rose skin, when they released a reskin for Rose, the character, It was a completely black leather suit, and there was a problem that the actual Raven Software, which is the people who moderate the game and make sure that they fix all the bugs and stuff like that, they refused to fix the fact that the map was so dark. And the Rose skin was a completely black leather suit, so everyone who purchased that skin, and that was a purchasable skin, had a major advantage, and it outraged the entire community. And I mean, you know, Warzone in particular, not a lot of people like Raven Software. You know, I'm going to be honest, I stopped playing Warzone simply because there were so many things that they couldn't fix. And they, you know, they're slowly, now that Microsoft purchased Activision, they're slowly bringing it back. They're slowly bringing everything back to the way Call of Duty used to be. But the thing was, when you release something that gives you an unfair advantage, it's immediate outrage across the entire platform.
People want it to be fair, and that's why Fortnite did take off. But, and I mean, for those of you listening, for those of you watching, if you do like this gaming discussion, we have a full series, D3 Gaming, where we actually play these games and go into it. And it brings me back to an earlier point, going into the metaverses and the play to earn games. I personally feel like a lot of people, gamers specifically, are not taking advantage of the play to earn aspect on these games. If you are willing to grind, there is a lot of money to be made. And maybe because I'm not a gamer, I feel different than you. I've been itching to get back into Decentraland and play. I want to go back on stream again. I had a dream about Decentraland last night.
Well, you're jumping.
I want to play it again.
Well, that's the thing, is you're getting a little taste. I want to say, you know, you're jumping from these platformer, regular side scroller games that are on your iOS or Android device, and you're getting a little taste into the majority of gaming today. You know. You used to play back in the day. You used to play Madden, right?
Yep.
You were a big Madden player, but as you got older, you kind of strayed away from console gaming and more onto mobile gaming.
Bloons Tower Defense 6, that's my game now.
Exactly, but that's the thing is, you know, myself and Cody, as we've kind of grown up into the games and the way things have kind of turned, and we've always been a console gamer. I'm more recently a PC gamer. Cody, you've been a PC gamer for the past couple years.
I still play console, but PC gaming, I've drawn to it.
And that's the thing is, these games, it's honestly getting to a point where, you know, I don't own a new gen console, so I don't know exactly the specifics.
They're close to PCs now.
They're close to PCs, but it's still, you get an advantage by gaming on PC.
One thing you worry about though with PCs too is people modding the game or hacking.
Exactly.
So it's like you face that. Now I wanted to get to this point too, right? And someone brought it up. Was you talked about, Shane, why the gamers don't fully take advantage of this.
Why?
So listen to this, and it's because it's against term of service. And what I mean by this is certain games. So I play an MMO called Final Fantasy 14, and one of the rules that they have is no RMT, which is remote transactions. Right? And what that is...
I'm not talking about the game developer. I'm talking about the individual gamers.
No, but...
Well, no, me and Cody had a slight conversation about this prior to the podcast, and it's a really good
this is a legit thing. So the problem is this. When you play MMOs, you get certain items, you do certain clears, and what I could be like, hey, I have so much gold in this game, I'm never going to spend it. I'm going to give you this gold, you give me $30 in real money, and I can transfer this in-game currency to you for real money. That's against the term of service. You could get banned
Makes
for
sense.
that. Now, that's RMT, and
that's a good thing.
The same thing, same thing with CS:GO does it, but CS:GO does it a little different for real money, and they allow it. Certain games, the majority of games, don't allow this. Now, here's the issue. Now they're going to allow this. How is that going to work now for games that do NFTs? It's going to be like an RMT system. Are they going to allow this? How are they going to monitor this and all this? And I mean, you got to understand, there's people that make bots to play these games. They probably are doing it now with these current NFT games, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of issues with this.
Well, what about this? FIFA, my player mode. Elias, what is the FIFA my career mode called now, where you build up a player and let him go?
I think it's called something career. Yeah.
I
was going to say actually with FIFA, I've been playing FIFA for probably 10 years, and I haven't played the last few years, but since I was a little kid, I've been playing, and I've probably spent thousands of dollars on FIFA points and opening packs and all that, and
Oh, the packs,
getting
of
Yeah,
course.
coins
Ultimate Team.
and
The Ultimate Team, yeah.
and I'm excited to see how the NFT space can make it so that you're able to like because I was grinding for so long on FIFA, and the problem with FIFA, or maybe not the problem, but the thing about FIFA is that a new game comes out each year. So each year you have to start from zero, and you have to spend more money to get the new packs, and you have to start from zero. So all the work you did the last year can't convert over to the new game. So that's kind of like it's kind of like a waste of money because you have to start over again. And I'm excited to see how the NFT space can make it so that if you choose to go over to a new game, you can convert the items and all the things you had in the last game over to Ethereum or any other blockchain
Your cards are
or
NFTs.
crypto. And then you can not start off fresh, but you can have like the time you spent on that game is worth it and valuable to you because you're able to cash out at the end and you're able to reinvest it in a new game and continue to build up that like it's like it makes so much sense for like to continue building on it.
It
And
would
of
have to
course,
make-
there are a bunch of like marketplaces out there where you can sell your FIFA coins and you can sell your V-Bucks and Fortnite skins and you can sell skins on CS:GO, but converting it to money is unlike like Cody said, it's some games it goes against the terms of service to sell the items. So it's exciting to see how you can convert items into money that quickly or into Ethereum or crypto that quickly.
So I have a question now for all three of you. All right. So in your mind, what does like a big company game can do for NFTs if they want to add it into their game? I know there's a lot of backlash between the company and the people that support the game. In your mind, if they do implement NFTs, how would that look, and how would it be acceptable for you for a big company game?
I like this question. I like this question a lot. I personally feel as though it has to go exactly how kind of like CS:GO implemented their NFTs. It has to be strictly aesthetic. There can be no performance enhancers. There can be nothing of that kind of sort. It has to be solely aesthetic, and the reasoning is because for the people who aren't going to purchase into the NFT, it can't be a play to win situation, you know, because you're just going to lose that. And I can tell you right now, just by the way that gaming is nowadays and how they see the NFT space, a lot of people aren't going to buy into it. And that's just, you know, that's just the cream of the crop. You know, there's a lot of people that aren't going to buy into it. And you don't want to lose those fans, you know. There's a lot of, like, for example, even taking away the NFT aspect. You know, with going back to like FIFA Ultimate Team and Madden Ultimate Team and stuff like that. When Madden first brought in Ultimate Team, I, you know, gave it a try, and I've noticed that people who spend money on card packs and coins and all that kind of stuff and can purchase these high-level overall players and these cards and stuff like that have the unfair advantage against the people who can't spend the money.
Well, that's the whole point. The company needs to make money.
Well, exactly, but that's what I'm trying to get at.
I have something on that. If you want to implement NFTs into games, I agree with you with the CS:GO outlook. Now here's where the company can make money without breaking the game. Every transaction, if you sell that NFT or
The
cosmetic,
company makes money.
they can get a percentage off that, and then that's internally
Yep.
continuously generating money for the company. Obviously, the whole, gamers also hate this, right? We're sick and tired of getting games that are half done, where they sell us on DLC, and then it's like, oh, we put a loot box system in it, so you can buy loot boxes now, which is just like,
Well, what was that?
Well, hold on.
What was
I wanna
that
go
game?
back.
Metal Gear Solid 5 came out with literally one mission and then released
Hold
an
on.
entire new game
We gotta
like
go
2
back.
weeks later.
So Cody said about the packs, and Elias was bringing up the packs. So you were talking about them getting basically secondary sales. If we bring it back to FIFA, you buy a pack. They then resell whatever. They translate over to games. If packs were NFTs, the company gets secondary sales. That will never be... I mean, a business model would have to be introduced that makes it where it does make sense and they're making enough money from secondary sales because they're making a ton of money. People are buying packs year after year. When things don't carry over, it's just another year where you can make the same amount of money you made the year before compared to 10% on resale. So I don't know, Elias, what are your, like, is that what you see where the packs are NFTs?
That's a good question, and it's difficult to answer. And I was going to comment on when you guys spoke about the play to, like, you what is it called, pay to
Pay to play,
Pay to
win.
pay to win. Yeah, pay to win. When you can pay and then you get a greater advantage in the game when to other people that can't pay. And it's a difficult thing because the only thing with CS:GO skins, in my opinion, when buying it and like getting a rare skin in CS:GO by opening a case or something like that, you the only reason you get excited about opening or getting the skin is because it's worth something on the secondary market, not because of course it looks cool in the game, but it's very based on how much it's worth on the secondary market, because many of the skins look cool but they are not so rare, and because they're expensive, you find them way cooler. But on the pay to win side, you get excited because the player is, like on FIFA for example, the player is very good in the game and you can use him in your team. So I'm curious to see if there's can be a mixture of both.
Elias, you just reminded me of something too. While opening packs, you make you feel good and stuff, like it's a gambling habit, and there were some countries and stuff like that had banned this.
Yeah, because little kids are opening up packs and spending their parents' money.
Yes, little kids. Do we really want to incorporate NFTs into games, and then you're literally cutting out a younger generation because now you have to equip a wallet? Are they getting paid for playing this game now? What if they're buying things?
Well, the whole process is going to get easier. We have to remember, we're a couple years in. If we're looking at the internet, comparing it to like the internet, we're still at the point where you can't even use your telephones when you're on the computer. Like, we're even before that. So this is gonna get easier. Right now, the way that NFTs are purchased, it's a little bit complicated. It's gonna get easier. Look at Rare Circles, for example. Like, that's a platform that is coming out that is making it very easy. And for those who don't know, they're making it where you could buy with a credit card. It's a very simple process. You don't have to transfer to crypto, all of that stuff. So
my question to you, I'm sorry for interrupting, Nick. Literally, I just want to get this point across. Is literally like you said. My thing is, it could get easier, and it's perfectly agreeable. Now, is there any laws and restrictions against a younger audience, not only gambling because they can't, or purchasing NFTs because that's like investing? Are they allowed to invest, like, say, stock market, something? That's what NFTs technically act like when you buy them and stuff like that. So is that allowed? Or is the younger generation allowed to get into this? What's the age that you can?
This is the thing, though, Cody, is your point exactly. Like, the way to combat it back is look at what Fortnite has done. Fortnite makes millions of dollars off of kids buying all of these skins. Why? Just so they can say they have the skin. Yeah. Simple as that. What's the difference between buying an NFT and buying the skin?
And to answer your question, you can't create a wallet unless you're 18 years old. So there is an age limit to it. So kids can't just. And I mean, kids are getting younger where they have computers. iPads,
they're going to access
like
the NFT games and stuff like that, and we get that. It's just one of those things. What is the law around this? How are game developers going to be like project their games? Are they going to have a high rating? Or are we going to see a new game rating for NFT games? Are they you know what I mean?
There's
These
money.
are the questions we got to be asking.
I think there's
money to be made for gamers.
I think it'll be its own genre. You know, like if you go, Cody, those of you PC gamers, if you go onto Steam, they have categories, and it's like shooters, simulation games, racing games. Like, there's different categories. I think that it's gonna, if they integrate it right, it's gonna be an NFT genre, and it's all the games pertaining to NFT stuff. And I think that, if these games, instead of making them, browser games or making them actual downloadable from the website alone, I think if they try and work their magic into getting onto a bigger platform such as Steam or such as, you know, like Epic Games, Origin,
all these, yeah.
all those different type of platforms, I think it'll bring NFTs right into the limelight. And that only because, you know, there's a lot of time where I'm bored as shit playing. I was playing whatever, and I'm like, I want to look at like a new game to get. And if you just see a new section and like all these new games, I'm gonna browse.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean I'm gonna download, but I'm
People's
definitely gonna browse.
definitely try them out, and I agree with that. Like, people will be like, "Oh, yeah, this is just a game. I'm gonna try it out." New streams could pop up, and you see people playing it, and you know, you get involved with it.
Exactly.
I 100% agree with that. My only question now is literally, the big companies have tried. You've seen these headlines that Nintendo is like, hey, they tried diving into the crypto NFT space. Immediately backlash from the community. This brings us to the original point of why gamers hate it, because the communities hate it, and everyone's just listening to their friends. They're not informing themselves, or they're not trying it out themselves. And any company that goes this is like a political suicide, where it's like, hey, now our stocks are dropping because everyone hates it. They're gonna go against this, and then they back out.
Cancel culture.
See, one of the first games that integrated it was the game. I believe it was one of the Tom Clancy games with EA.
But they did it horribly. And
Exactly.
EA.
Well, that's the thing. So that's one of the first games that integrated NFT. One of the first big games that integrated NFTs. And the way that they did it was the same way that they did with what was the other game that you stated, Cody? Like Battlefront or something?
Oh yeah, EA did it because it's EA as well.
Same,
Battlefront 2,
same
Star
issue
Wars.
was these guns and these, you know, whatever it may be, was overpowered than the regular ones, and that was like the first kind of like experience in gaming, and gamers immediately were like, absolutely not.
So okay, so let's begin to wrap this up. I basically want to do something right now where we go around. Whoever wants to start, Ken, I'm going to give each of you guys 1 minute. I want you to tell me what you think has to happen for the gaming community to embrace NFTs, play-to-earn games, and everything going on in these metaverses. What has to happen? Who wants to start it off? 1 minute each. We'll have the timer on the phone. Who wants to kick things off? You want to start it off?
Right now.
All right, 1 minute each. I'll let you know when you got 10 seconds left to wrap up your point. Kick it off.
All right, I believe that in order to get NFTs into the gaming industry, they have to be strictly aesthetic. Can't do it the way that EA did it. You can't make anything overpowered. You can't make anything play to win or pay to win. You know, everything has to be explained a lot clearer. And I think that, you know, once things get more into the actual like daily routine of NFTs and stuff like that, I think that gamers will definitely warm up to it. And I mean, you know, I had no idea about it a year ago. I had no idea what an NFT was. A year ago, like after the course of the year, I mean, being a gamer, now that I have a lot more idea of what an NFT is and the games and stuff like that, I'm interested.
There we go. 45 seconds. All right, Cody.
I'm going to agree with a lot of points that Nick has said. In my mind, the best way they could incorporate NFTs into any kind of game is make it as less intrusive to the game as possible. Make it where it's like an option where if I want to buy your game, it's not automatically I have to get into this NFT stuff. It's like, hey, I could play the game normally and all this, or I could add on that NFT side to it. As less intrusive as it is to the game, the better. That will slowly get the gamers on the side. Like, you know what? I could be playing this game because I love it so much and make a little money on the side because it does this. I'm going to activate that side of things. And that way they could get used to it and it can start building up. And, you know, it's the reputation behind it. I feel that would be the best start we could do to it. And it gets more people interested and understanding what it's all about.
All right, Elias, wrap us up here. We'll give you an extra 20 seconds. Get your point across. What do you think needs to happen for the gaming community to embrace this new world?
I think I agree with you guys, but at the same time, I'm kind of thinking that we might have to see a game just fully going into the NFT space. A popular game like Minecraft or Fortnite, that might be what we need to, and like the whole game being based off NFTs, or maybe not the whole game. Also, we could also see, for example, FIFA making the economy or like the coins of the game being a crypto, so you can, of course, when you don't want to play anymore, convert the game coins into crypto. But I think having a game, a pretty big game, just taking the chance and the leap of faith on the NFT community and on NFTs to bring it mainstream, because I think right now, and I don't know if that time is now, but I think we have to see some and not just a little game or a big game introducing it just a little bit on the side, trying to make some money of the NFT thing. I think we have to see a game bringing it in big time.
All right, perfect.
All right, cool.
Elias, our Norwegian robot, we're excited to talk to you some more. Any closing remarks you would like to say to the world until next week's episode?
I think NFTs are here to stay.
There we go.
Alrighty.
Everybody, Elias, our Norwegian robot. Thank you for joining us, Elias.
Thank you guys.
Come get this robot out of here.
Hey!
Don't you just love when he comes on our show?
Of course.
Yeah, Elias is. He always brings a little flavor. I like that we have the language switch. So
Of course.
it was great talking about video games.
It was.
Our next guest. Oh, and look at that. Perfect timing with our minute for each person segment. So, talking about the gaming stuff. It's an interesting segue because our next guest is from the Goons of Balatroon, which, as we all know, they are about to launch their much anticipated Goons of Balatroon game. It is a turn-based card game, so very excited to have him come on. That interview is going to be coming up very shortly. Nick, anything you want to close out
On the
for
gaming
this
stuff?
last conversation?
On the gaming stuff?
Yeah, anything.
I don't know. I mean, it's we kind of hit the nail on the head. That
I'm interested to hear what Matt has to say. Matt is going to
Yeah, no, I am
interested
interested.
to
You
hear
know,
that.
especially I'm not sure if Matt is a gamer, but he has a great understanding of what needs to be done for gaming, and I've gotten a little bit of insight into the whole game that they're releasing, and it's pretty interesting. And so I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to get down bare bones and see what we got.
100%. All right. We'll be back very shortly with Matt from the Goons of Balatroon. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
For years, wars have been won with honor, strength.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. We're the Goons. We do things our way. Hit it. When I hear honor, I say, who gives a fuck? We do anything to win.
I'll strangle you with my stick. Victory.
I'll pull you in close and give you a jolt like you've never felt before.
It's whirly time!
I get my opponent so wasted. Chug. I'd rather just hotbox the entire arena.
Sometimes you just gotta run! You know the moral of the story? We have no morals. Do what it takes to win. We are the Goons of Balatroon. Get your Goon card packs and win your war.
I don't even know what cryptocurrency is, bro. I just feel could I buy an NFT with it, or is it like robot pennies? Like I don't even know, dude.
And we are back, joined with Matt, as you know him from the Goons of Balatroon, Beagle. If you're in the community, Matt, how's it going? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's excellent to be with you guys today. Very excited to sit down and have a conversation with you guys. Nice to speak with you all again.
Yeah, definitely. Excited to have you on. The Goons, I mean, I don't know if you can see our wall, but we got some of the Goons from the team, some that friends and family sent in for us to highlight. Most of these are mine up there, but
All right, you don't need to flex on them, Shane. You don't need to flex on them.
the big ones are mine.
There you go. Yeah, I was looking at that when we were getting set up. I love it. The artwork is so good on them. They make good pieces.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, let's kick this off. So, yeah, tell us a little bit. Tell us about your background, how you got involved with the Goons of Balatroon, and what you're doing for the project as of right now.
Absolutely. So you have a lot of people who kind of break into Web3 via more traditional means. I'm a case study in that. I started off just traditional investing is how I went down the rabbit hole of crypto and NFTs. Traditional investing, stocks, pretty vanilla stuff like that. And then the GameStop, AMC blew up, and it was a ton of fun, ton of money to be made. I jumped into that. Kind of went down the rabbit hole. Of course, once you get into that sort of degen stuff, you start looking for more. Started poking around with crypto. Wasn't real sure about it. Half the people say it's a scam. Other people claim it's the next big thing. Went down that rabbit hole. One thing led to another. I heard Journey Crypto talking about NFTs on a podcast, something about Bored Ape Yacht Club at 0.1 ETH, whatever that was. They just were some, gorillas. Picture of a gorilla. I wasn't really sure about it.
At the time, who's going to pay 0.1 ETH for a Bored
Yeah,
Ape?
I mean, you do the calculations. Well, what is that for a picture of a monkey? And, the more I got, immersed in the entire culture of it in NFT Twitter, you start to realize, maybe that 0.1 ape was a steal and you just didn't see it before your eyes. So I got myself kind of immersed in not just crypto, but also started to dabble in NFTs. Couple months went by, and now those 0.1 Bored Apes were a little bit more expensive. They were 1 ETH, and I stumbled upon a giveaway for one of them because I understood what they were now. One thing led to another. That giveaway was being held by the current team of the Goons of Balatroon. Hopped into their community Discord, started cutting it up with them. They were an amazing group of very genuine people, always looking out for their community. I reached out to Mark, one of the co-founders, and I said, "Hey, man, do you need any help with anything? If you ever need any help, let me know." He said, "Yeah, absolutely. You can do some unofficial mod work." One thing led to another, and now community manager for Goons of Balatroon, having a ton of fun and watching an amazing product being built.
It's crazy because so many of us were brought into this with everything that happened with Wall Street bets, AMC, GameStop. That's what really got me into like investing in general. And then naturally, your interest just peaks and you get a little riskier. You go into crypto, and then you normally just stumble into this crazy world of NFTs. And it's funny how it all ended up coming together.
Well, exactly that. I think people tend to think of traditional investing as boring. You sit down, and if you're really lucky, if you're like, the hedge funds, they make 11%, they beat the market, and they have toasts and celebrations, and it all went well. But then you look on crypto, and 11% is a slow Tuesday, and there's just so much room for gains and volatility, and it's a roller coaster ride. And I think it attracts a certain mentality sort of person, and kind of brings them in, and one thing leads to another. You go from stocks to meme stocks, crypto, NFTs. It's just a progression.
So when you brought up the Bored Ape giveaway, I thought you were going to tell us that you got pulled into the NFT space because you won that giveaway.
Oh man, no! It would be my profile picture, Curly.
Well, yeah. Who knows if you still have it? We have someone with our company. He had 2 Bored Apes, and he ended up selling both of them. So, you never know what happens.
It's really easy to say, right, in that position, like, oh, man, yeah, Bored Ape Yacht Club, the floor. It's been up to, 100 ETH? I think it had a bit of a fluctuation when Yuga picked up Larva Labs with the punks. Mm-hmm. When you had that, I think it caused a little bit of volatility between both floors. But, it's one thing to say, oh, yeah, I totally would have bought that at their mint price, 0.09 or whatever it was at the time. Then I totally would have held to 100 ETH. When so many people have photos of, them selling their Bored Ape at, 0.1, at 0.5, at 1, at 2. People choose to take profits whenever they want, and it's easy to say, oh, yeah, I would have been the one to hold till 100 ETH.
And it's funny, too, with that, not to get too off topic, but, now we're looking at this space, and people that have, Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, people automatically assume they're NFT experts. And a lot of them are just people that got here early, and they got really lucky. I'm sure there's a ton that are truly experts, but it's something to think about how many of them are just really lucky people.
Oh, yeah. You hear about people all the time. They're like, yeah, people assume that I know about NFTs. I just saw this NFT and I vibed with it. And at the same time, there's some people who are absolutely beyond educated. You know, you have Steve Schiller, you have Zeneca. Oh my goodness, those guys, they sport the apes and they are just a wealth of knowledge on the space. I was fortunate enough to hang out with both of them in another show recently. They just know so much. But like you say, you know, some people just saw a picture that they thought was cool art. Maybe they thought it was funny, and they minted it out. Who was to know it would go where it did?
Yeah, exactly. When to bring it back to the Goons. So when this was one of the first projects that I just like randomly stumbled upon. I was just doing some vetting exercises, going through projects, saw them on Rarity Tools, and the website branding was like nothing I've ever seen. I was familiar with Bored Ape at that point because one of my good friends, someone else with the company, he had a couple. So I was familiar with their site, and I was like, wow, the Goons of Balatroon. One, the name is just fun to say, and two, this site is like nothing I've ever seen. Just it's not up anymore, but the graphic of their original roadmap, I don't know if you're familiar with it, where it was like all like I think it was like streams or rivers. It was so cool. And I was like, yeah, I gotta buy these. And I'm the type of guy that I pretty much dive into it. I dive in hard, and yeah, these were all the ones that I bought for opening mint, and these aren't even all the ones I have now. But yeah, I'm sure you had that same feeling when you saw it, right?
Yes, absolutely. So this is by the time we were moving with the Goons of Balatroon project, I was with the team. We were preparing. We were getting the Discord ready. Yeah, you know, I remember the Discord where it was just us, the founders, and mostly bots in the Discord as we were putting it all together.
You were in it pretty early on. I didn't realize it was that early.
Yes. So I met the team via another NFT project, kind of a precursor one that the team was involved in. And when I'd worked with them as an unofficial mod to the point where we were really clicking together, we were really, all of us were on the same page. And when I was informed by Mark that, you know, there's going to be another project, that they had something else, you know, in the works, I said, well, I'm here to help you out. I'm down for the ride, down for the adventure. So when we made the transition over, we started the Discord, you know, there from the very beginning. And, you know, the focus was always something very unique. And I have to say, I've consistently and constantly been just as impressed as I hope all of our community members are, because I'm a collector as well. You know, I enjoy working with the team, but I was a collector first. And it's the consistent value that the dev team brings that, you know, just keeps me in the loop. I remember the first time I saw the art. You know, so much of the art in the NFT space is kind of, it's technical driven over art. So you have, because crypto is such a technical space, a lot of the times you have a developer decides what they want to do. You know, they know what their project is going to do, and then they reach out to an artist. So the art, you know, there's some very good art projects out there, but some of them, it's technical driven, and then art is an afterthought or a secondary thought. With our project, with Goons, the very first time I saw a sample of the art, I was blown away. You know, it was one of the very first projects I'd seen that I was like, man, this art, I love how clean it looks. I love, you know, the traits. It's humorous. It just had kind of everything in a nutshell that I love to look at. It's just always exceeded my expectations.
And I mean, we'll get into this, but the art for the game, and I don't want to go into it too much right now, that is on another level. I can't wait to talk about it.
I enjoyed it. Looking into it, you know, the Goons was one of the first projects that I got introduced to when I joined the NFT space. You know, I knew of NFTs. I didn't really know, like, I knew that they existed. That was pretty much it. And the Goons was one of the first projects that I kind of like saw and like deep dove into, and it blew me away.
It's a fun project.
It hooked me, and I've been hooked ever since.
So yeah, let's break it down for any viewers that are new. Do you, off the top of your head, do you have any early stats with, I know what was it, 7 days was the original sellout or something like that? It was, I believe it was less than a week for a full mint sellout, right?
Yeah, we were close there to a week. We did, so this kind of came before the current, I'm going to call it NFT meta, where everything's whitelisted now.
Yeah.
We wanted, a lot of the time at that period, communities were hooking up their early members is kind of how it was. You were in the Discord early. the whitelist was kind of automatic. There was no whitelist grind. There was no hoops you had to jump through. I didn't have to get a tattoo and rename my child Goon. It's it's a lot more basic. Our first X number of members in the Discord, we gave them the Pioneer Goon role, and they were whitelisted for the pre-sale. The pre-sale was more of just, how is this going to work? Like, do all the technicals we have line up? And so, I think it was the day before the main mint or something. Anybody with the Pioneer Goon role was able to come in and mint. That one minted out fast. It was a limited number, and it minted out very quick. The main mint took a little longer. I want to say it ran for a period of 5-6 days. Really good, low gas mint, very organic. And it really picked up speed at the end. It was very cool to watch the hype build as more people were taking a look at it. They're like, "Hey man, I just minted the Goons." We're like, "What are the Goons?"
It's funny, little story about the mint. So I was on vacation actually in upstate New York, and up there service a little spotty. I was at a lake house and the Wi-Fi was terrible. So and I didn't have my car there because I drove up with friends. I had everyone at I convinced everyone, hey, let's do a really long lunch today over here because it had Wi-Fi in the little village. And I had my laptop. They're like, why do you have your laptop with you, Shane? And I'm sitting there waiting for the timer to go down. And yeah, I was there for mint. But yeah, it was very exciting. How many members, do you know roughly how many members were in the Discord when you guys minted?
I'm trying to remember because we had a metric that we wanted to hit, and I wanted to say, was it 2,000 or 4,000? It might have been. It was somewhere in between. I think 3,000 to 4,000 is what I'm thinking, but it might have even been higher than that. It's so funny trying to think back to how things were so different back then. It's kind of watching how much things have changed and how far we've come, but. Yeah, we wanted an X amount of people into Discord, and we accomplished it. We were feeling pretty good about it, and it really made the mint a lot smoother.
Yeah, overall it was really good. And like the big thing that it got me was that branding. I mean, what were your thoughts, Nick, when you first?
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, not even just the start of the branding, but everything as a whole. It was really nice to see, like,
even the Discord, how the Discord was put together. And those are the important things, at least at that stage in minting, where we were in the NFT world, that was a big thing. Now it's like it's all, like you said, we're in the NFT meta, where it's whitelisting, all that stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I kind of watched the project grow, like, branding-wise, from where it started to where it's at now. And, I'm blown away just with the progress that it's made over the course of, however long I've been looking at it. I can't even tell you, in all honesty.
Yeah, so let's.
Well,
go ahead. I was gonna say let's go into what you guys have now, and the most exciting part is the game. But if you want to bring another point before that.
Yeah, I was gonna just touch on, through all our marketing, we wanted it to be fun. The website, getagoon.com. Instead of having, like, you needed to know our project name, you needed to know, like, Goons of Balatroon.io, nothing like that. Get a goon. What do you want? Yep. You want a goon? Getagoon.com. It was easy, and you were just immediately on-ramped onto it. It was supposed to be a ton of fun, and we like to think we've accomplished that. We like to think we've kept executing on that. And like you say, right now the main goal, the main focus is the game. For those who aren't aware of what the project is, it was a NFT profile picture project at its initial stage, but it was never intended to be that. From our very earliest point in concept, it's been a play-to-earn game. But more on that, we want it to be a game that where the experience is the focus. We want it to be play to experience. We want it to be free to play, and then we want it to be play to earn. So many games you see in the crypto space are just staking simulators or click simulators. And there's nothing wrong with that because we're at a very early stage in crypto gaming. People are really starting to decide what this is going to be and all the multitude of things they can do with it because, crypto NFTs is so technically based that Web3, it really gives you the ability to do whatever you have the technical ability to do, whatever you have the imagination and the skill to do. And for us, we want it to be a fun experience. We want this to be a game experience that you want to sit down and play. We're going to have ranked matches, we're going to have private matches, and we want this to be something that you want to play with your friends. That's the goal.
I just know it's gonna, the level of the game and the branding, and not even going into the art for the cards, the card opening process is that is a sentiment in itself to show how fun it is. And to paint a picture for our audio only listeners, basically when you go in, the camera, and we'll show a clip on screen as well, the camera takes you through, it's like through a bar, right? And then you go through all these scenarios, and then it's a wizard basically at the end, right? And you have all your packs, you open it, and it's, the animation behind that is just phenomenal. It's so, yeah, to the whole team, amazing job there as well.
Yeah, you got your mysterious figure, you kind of like fly through a crowd of, assorted bulls and bears. You got goons. You fly through there. You go through kind of a netted, beaded doorway. And the mysterious figure, whether it's an oracle, a wizard, whatever they are, they stretch their hands out to you. You place the card pack in their hand and it opens up and you see what you get. Again, the first time I saw the theme, the concept for that, it blew me away. I was sitting there, just checking our Slack channels, and I saw that pop up. I clicked on it, and I just said to myself, "Oh man, that looks way too good." Our art team, I always have to give them kudos. Our art team, whether it's the standard profile picture one, the card design concepts, the art for our animations, it's always so good. Our artists do an amazing job.
Yeah, and let's talk about the art for the cards, because that's something that when I first saw them, I was like, whoa, this is just one hilarious. And where did the inspiration for that come from? Did you guys always have, as a team, you guys always planned on going down this route? And I don't want to say, will we say like they're dirtier cards? They're like adult oriented. Like, how would you describe those?
We always knew that so many games take themselves very seriously. So many, because we're at our base a trading card game, TCG. So many of these games take themselves very seriously, and for good reason. It's a very approachable genre. Whether you started off playing the physical versions like Pokemon as a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, these are games that people have grown up with, and we are aimed like just solidly at that demographic. We're aimed at the core demographic of crypto, the core demographic of NFTs, that 18 to mid 30s, 40, that demographic. But anybody's welcome. Like, anybody can pick it up. And the goal is to not take ourselves too seriously. We want to be fun. We want to be wild, rebellious, wacky. We want to do all of that stuff. There's so many card games out there that just have amazing art that's very. I'm trying to think of the right word to describe it, but it's very serious. It's high fantasy. It's the kind of art you would expect. And we're trying to take a step away from that and say we want good art, but we want it to be a ton of fun too. And I like to think we've accomplished that. And we know that it's not for everybody. The level we're shooting for a humorous, wild and rebellious kind of genre, and we know that not everybody's going to be about that. And we did some iterations of the art, and we took a look and we said, okay, some of this is a little overboard. Let's tone it down a bit. Let's tune it in. Let's decide, what exactly is fit to print, and what can we leave behind? Because the first look at our art, it wasn't the last look. We've always been optimizing it and, kind of looking at it from a critical mindset, because we enjoy it, but we have to put ourselves in the mindset of, others. Who's going to see this? What are they going to feel about it?
Yeah, exactly. It's. You guys. I feel you guys really hit the nail on the head with all of that as a team. The artists. What, off the top of your head, which character on the cards is your favorite?
Oh man, so there's a couple that I always enjoy. One of them, and it was because it was animated so well. When we were doing a little bit of animated card promos for it, was our shooting deer, and it was amazing because I just like the artwork itself. It's a deer with like its antlers holding multiple guns, and in the background, it's what I love about the background. There's just these two squirrels like just going at it in the background. And when we animated it, it was the most hilarious thing. In fact, we want to do some animations with the cards, NFTs themselves in the future. At the time, it was just promo. I think in the future, there's going to be some animation going on. We're at a very basic stage. We're at a beta stage right now where we're putting all the pieces together initially. But when I saw that, it just cracked me up. There's another one where they're holding a cat made out of cactus in their lap. And then, of course, there's the infamous dildo, which is a pickle-shaped deer. So a ton of good art. But I'll tell you, from just a cool perspective, one of our legendary cards, we have 2 of them. And one of them is Beastmark, which is just absolutely cool. It's a legendary. And then we have Leroy Chickens, which is not everybody's favorite Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, that's amazing. Nick, actually, looking at one of his favorite characters was, I forget the official name for the electric socket girl. What is?
Oh yeah.
What is? So I forget what her official name is, but at one point, Nick wanted to. He was like, "This character has to have this voice." And you want to do the impersonation?
I could do the impersonation. I just want to say I tried out as a voice actor. I was kind of thrown in there. But I kind of got inspiration because I felt like it needed the voice of the girl
from Big Mouth.
From Big Mouth.
Who was the Lola? Is that
Lola from Big Mouth. Yeah.
He's like, this socket needs to have.
I just felt like it needed a Lola kind of voice, and remind me what the line was in the.
It was I'm gonna pull you in close and give you a shock like you've never felt before.
All right.
Getting character.
All right. I'll pull you in close, give you a shock like you never felt before.
We actually, there was a version of the video with that voice in it. So for those of you that don't know, our team worked on the animated trailer for the game, and that was made one of the cuts, and ended up, it didn't fit properly, but it was. I know you had fun doing it.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. The second that you were like, okay, these are like the voices, like, what do you guys think? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like it should get a Lola thing. And you were like, well, why don't you record it then?
Well, first of all, I didn't even know you could do a voice like that. So, I mean, props to you. Yeah, so Matt, do you guys have an official launch date set or a time frame that you are aiming for?
Yes, we do. We do have time frames. Unfortunately, we've had the entire world is experiencing a lot of disruptions at the moment, and it really does speak to the global nature of the NFT space and crypto as a whole. The Ukraine crisis, while we don't put any blame on it necessarily, has tossed us a couple curveballs that we've had to adapt to and adjust our timelines to. So we're still looking for a beta coming up in a couple weeks. This may affect our ultimate launch date a bit, but we're still aiming for April, May to see the product roll out. There's going to be the token launch somewhere in between there. We have Deck Creator coming out very soon, so we have a whole lot of stuff to fill up the void of space, and we have a ton of fun ideas planned. A ton of features to be added together. That's what's so cool about this right now, is we have so many direct catalysts that we're able to roll out that we've been waiting for, ever since launch for it. Like, it was awesome to get the pack opener out there. It was nice to be able to start showing the community the cards, getting the body factory out there, let people start minting their bodies. Just one by one, we started rolling out the features on the roadmap. Some were planned, some were kind of a surprise. Staking, for example. Staking just kind of happened. It happened organically. Now we're like, hey, that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So we've seen a little bit of timeline disruption, but mostly we're just we get to the point where we get to add cool stuff. For example, we had a partnership with Vulcan Forge just came up, and that kind of caused us to go back to the drawing board because it puts us in a situation. Well, what can we add now? Do we need to reassess our timeline because now we can do more? Now we can add more. Now the things that we're planning, maybe we can make them cooler. So It's a lot of needing to be flexible and adapt quickly to all of the ever-changing circumstances in the crypto NFT space. One partnership can completely alter your plan entirely, and that's what's so cool about it. So much opportunity to experiment and try new things.
Absolutely. Now I want to take a step back. As you mentioned, the crisis in Ukraine. Now I know the Goons of Balatroon announced that they're releasing a Ukraine project to donate all the proceeds to the families and everything in Ukraine. Can you shed us a little light on what this project's going to look like Have the art been decided on yet? You know, what's the deal with that?
So, yes, we actually have some team members that are directly affected by it. Some have been displaced, some are, currently dealing with it. And our hearts go out to all of them because nobody asked for this. Nobody the world over asked for this. And it's something that, people have to deal with. They're displaced. Their lives have been disrupted, their livelihoods, so many things have changed. It's an ever evolving situation. And what we've seen is the crypto community has really reached out, and they've donated greatly to wallets associated with Ukraine. The efforts, some are humanitarian, some directly go to the war effort. You can donate directly to that. They've seen immense inflows of both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and with having a direct connection to it ourselves in our team, we knew we wanted to do something, and so we designed. But we wanted to do something that was more than just here's a wallet, send what you want to it. We wanted people who contributed to have a token of our appreciation, and so we designed 100 goons, entirely They were hand designed. They weren't minted out in the same process, and we put them up for auction on our page, and it lasted 24 hours. The first round lasted 24 hours. There's going to be future rounds. We wanted people to pick out the ones they liked and get those bids on them, and they were all Ukraine themed. They look very good. I love them, and all the proceeds went to the charity that we're selecting the charity currently. We're trying to find the very best one, the ones with the most efficacy. But all of it went to it. The primary funds went to it. The secondary royalties are going to go to it. We increased the secondary royalties just a little bit, so those perpetuals will be a little more substantial. So we're not looking to profit from this at all. More so, we wanted to create a cool token for those who wanted to help out.
It's very, very nice of you guys to do that. Now, I need to know, one of the bigger headlines that has kind of taken the reins of TikTok is the Ghost of Kiev, and I need to know, is there going to be a future NFT of the Ghost of Kiev? Because that would be one.
Are you familiar with Ghost of Kiev? You might have to explain it.
Yes, I feel like at this point, if you spend any time on the internet, you'll have.
Yeah.
And I hate it because I refer to it on another show as like a meme of the war, and I don't like that terminology at all. It technically is what it is, but I think it paints the war in too humorous of a light. But it's currently I can't think of a good phrase that I'd like to call it, but it's a well-known kind of factoid from the war that you have. This pilot who, whether he's just a legend or a amalgamation of multiple pilots, supposedly made A status very quickly in the combat. And like you say, it doesn't really matter if the ghost is real or not. The fact that he inspires people is just a cool thing. And we do have Ghost of Kiev traits in the collection.
Okay, perfect.
They're out there.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't know how you guys keep your channel as far as language and everything, but island one
we're
as
fully
well.
open.
We're good.
Yeah.
The Russian warship, there's that trait in there as well.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So
We talked about that earlier. That's perfect.
yeah, so there were some cool traits, and they were all hand designed. And the main thing we wanted to get across is basically, we're supporting our team members who are, displaced or affected by that. And at the end of the day, it's just a huge disruption. It's a huge disruption that nobody who's experiencing right now, nobody asked for it. So it's our way to give back in whatever small way. And that's why we decided, this wasn't going to be a revenue stream for us. The art was essentially just as a thank you, because we thought that the people who contributed, they should get something cool out of it.
Absolutely. And that's so nice of you guys to, take initiative and really, kind of develop a way that you guys can do your part and help out. But it's not kind of the normal, here's a wallet, donate what you can, and it's going there. There's still that kind of incentive when you do donate.
It shows the strength of the Goons of Balatroon team.
Exactly.
And it shows that, you guys have the values and you guys understand what's important, where everything goes. It just helps strengthen the way that the community views you guys. So it's a major positive. You guys are doing great things, and the NFT industry sees it for sure.
Well, we love our community. We love our community a lot. We have an amazing community. They've matured as a community, not as individuals. They've they've matured as a community as we've moved away from mid and moved into our production stage. We just have an amazing, supportive community. They're very positive. They help each other out. And right now the market it's a very illiquid market right now. People don't really want to sell because the market's down so much. Whether it's the war or gas prices, everything's tight right now. And so for our community to respond the way they did, it was just amazing to see. And we had even some of the bids came in from our partner projects. Monster Buds, I think, picked up a couple of these as well. So it was just super cool to see the community rally together, because we understand, this is not an easy time for anybody right now. The markets are in a weird position. We're not hitting all-time highs right now. So to see the community, step up and help out each other, it's just an amazing thing to see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I wanted to touch on that you mentioned earlier, your partnership with Vulcan. Now, they're tightly working with you guys on the release of the game, correct?
Yes, actually, we're going to have Mark is sitting down with, I believe, their CEO for an AMA. Let's see, what day of the week is it? The days all run together. So I believe that's tomorrow, actually. I think he's going to be sitting down with them for an AMA on Wednesday. They're going to be discussing the project, and maybe they're going to be discussing the project, and they're going to have a few more details than I will. I do know that they've got a lot they can offer us. For example, some help with the token, whereas Axie Infinity has the Ronin sidechain. It may be possible for us to use Vulcan's, I believe they're Elysium is how they run their token. They've got developer assets. There's a whole lot they bring to the table, along with just being a very cool company. Where traditional gaming is very leery of NFTs. They've kind of turned their back. Steam, for example. Steam is very leery of NFTs right now. And it really opens up kind of the market for a company like Vulcan to step in and be decentralized Steam, to be Web3 Steam. So it's very cool. It's very cool to work with them. They bring a lot to the table. And just looking at the future roadmap, there's some very cool stuff that I really can't talk about right now, but it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
That's the stuff I want to get.
Do you have any teasers? Any little sneak peek or hint you can give us? If not, no pressure. Do not feel pressured to do that.
Keep in mind, right now everything is metaverse, right? Mm-hmm. Everything's metaverse. You see a lot of that. It's kind of become a meme. Everything has to have metaverse connections. Vulcan Forge has very real metaverse connections, and I can't say much more than that. But
that is
there's great potential.
Some goon bodies popping up in the metaverse.
That's a very exciting tease.
That is very exciting. It's very exciting. Now, I wanted to ask. So, after taking on the partnership with Vulcan, what kind of changes and what kind of information have they given towards the idea of the Goon trading card game and moving forward into kind of their take into the game?
Well, we're still early on in the process. I know that Mark has been going back and forth with them extensively. He's been talking with higher-ups in there, and it seems like they just resonate with the concept. And like I say, the AMA hasn't happened yet, so I'm very hesitant to speak for them. Yeah. They may have different concepts and ideas that we haven't heard yet. And so I don't really want to put words in their mouth or make assumptions about, how they feel about the overall project. But so far, the talks we've had with them have been very positive. They're immensely helpful. They're a great group of people, a great team. Very exciting when we heard that, there's going to be stuff in the works with it. Very communicative, very supportive. So mostly I can just give you initial reactions, because right now we're still in the building and evaluation stage. We're trying to decide, well, what does this mean? How will this affect our roadmap going forward? What benefits does this bring? Like I say, it brings token benefits. They have a wealth of knowledge and experience that we can go to. And our team is already immensely skilled. Our developers, concept wise, art wise, we have a wealth of talent, and Vulcan is just a pool that we can draw from as well. They're very helpful. Like I say, I cannot downplay their supportiveness.
Absolutely. That's a great answer. Before you start getting into stuff that might get you in trouble, I'm gonna bring you to the last question here and take us home with this. So you guys announced that you have a partnership with the Secret Society of Whales. Now, I know I'm not the only one in this room that wants to know, are we going to see any whales in the card packs coming soon?
So we do want to do that. So there's a couple stages that the card game goes, right? Because our game is play to experience, free to play, play to earn, in that order. That's our order of importance. We want people to enjoy the game. We want it to be accessible. So many of these NFT games have a high point of entry. Like, you have to shell out considerable amounts of capital to get into some of these games, especially if you get into them in their heyday. Like, look at a Axie team, when it was really pumped up. So we want people to be able to enter the game very easily. So we have a free-to-play option. You join, you don't need an avatar. You don't even need our cards. We have a stock deck of cards that will be core that everybody has access to. And you will earn rewards at a 1x rate, but you can experience the game, decide if you like it, and start building up. Maybe you save up to get a Goon avatar and increase your winnings. Now, this means that we have our stock deck of cards, then we have our Genesis set of cards, and those are pretty much set in stone. But what we want to do is we want to roll out cards that are conceptually based with partners. We've already put out a card that's kind of whale themed because we've had a very close relationship with whales for a long time. I think the card is Secret Whale.
Yeah, there were teasers in that card. I remember seeing that a while back.
Yeah, that was very exciting. The whales loved it. We loved it. We enjoyed getting it out there because, like I said, we've had a very close relationship with the Secret Society of Whales for a while now, and they're a great community. Our community's bonded, so it just made sense to have the partnership roll out the way it did. But yes, we are looking into cards that are representative or inspired by other communities, members of our partnership communities. It's a little bit further out on the roadmap, but it's absolutely something we're watching and something we're interested in.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see some whales in these card packs.
Yeah, all of this information, everything you're saying is just, as an owner and as a member of the community, I am wildly excited, and I cannot wait for this game, for everything. For this AMA. By the time this episode is going to be airing, the AMA will probably already have happened. It might be simultaneously. I cannot wait to see what's in store, and especially what you teased. That got my brain going. So Thank you for that. Anything else?
That's all from me.
Yeah, Matt. If there's anything closing that you would like to say, now's your time. Could take a couple seconds, say what you want, and then we'll wrap this up.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank you guys for having me. It was great to sit down and talk to you all. As I say, very exciting things are happening. We're coming up on a lot of very cool feature additions into the game. Deck creator coming up. You'll be able to take those card packs you've been able to rip open and actually put them to work, decide where you're going to put them, start theory crafting your deck. We have the profile page rolled out that lets you kind of visualize all your NFT assets kind of in one place, whether it's your cards, whether it's your avatars, your bodies. It's kind of your one-stop shop for, everything Goon related that you might have. We're coming up on the beta. We're going to do kind of a staged beta that, first off, we start asking our community to break the game. And then as we move things forward and refine it, just put out a more and more finished product. Very exciting things. Myself, I'm part of the team, but I'm also a holder. I'm a community member myself, and I'm constantly surprised and excited by the announcements that I get to put out. I get to see the announcements first, but don't think I'm any less excited about it myself. I enjoy it. I love the process, the team. I can't speak highly enough about the team. We have an amazing developer team, amazing art team.
I do have one more question.
All right, last one.
And I've actually been thinking about this for a very long time, but it just popped into my mind. In the future, after the game is fully launched and all the stress of trying to launch this game is done, are we going to see any physical cards?
There's some really cool potential for that, right? Just think about it. It doesn't even have to be cards. Think of the slabs, the NFT slabs. Those are a little more substantial of a thing than an actual card, but it's absolutely something we've discussed. And like you say, it's a little bit further out, but it is something that we've discussed. It's something we've kicked around. There's so many kind of ancillary and secondary, amazing concepts that you can do with all of this. And so it's absolutely on, I can't say on the agenda, I can't say on the roadmap, but it's something that is being conceptualized right now.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Can't wait for
sounds,
that.
Yeah, that sounds great. Matt, thank you for joining us. It was great talking to you. I, for one, am super excited.
I'm excited.
Say hello to the team, and yeah, we look forward to possibly talking to you again in the future.
Absolutely, would love to be on again. It was great talking to you guys. Again, thanks for having me on. Always love sitting down and talking about the Goons.
Yeah, no problem. We'll talk soon.
There we go. Good interview. Good interview.
Good interview, everyone. Wow. That is... Oh, Cody, you're back.
I am back. I know, right?
I mean, that's an exciting... It's
really exciting.
News. I wanted to dive in to the stuff about the metaverse.
I'm going to be honest.
But I kind of felt bad. I didn't want to put him on the spot and get him in trouble for releasing something that wasn't supposed to be.
No, I'm going to be honest. I'm a big like trading card person, like we talked in episode 1, like Pokemon cards and Naruto cards and all that. And like I know it's a bit of ways away, but I'm preparing for this.
It sounded like they're gonna have the slabs at some point.
Yeah,
which is like that will be really cool
Nick's
to
big
have.
into trading cards, but he's not good at the games.
All right, Cody.
Little hint: check out D3 Gaming. The next episode coming out is these two guys playing a little Gods Unchained. But I mean, wow! When this game comes out, it is gonna be big,
exciting.
And, I mean. It
makes
all
me wish
relates
I
back
would've
to
got a
our
Goon.
intro conversation, and it's some exciting stuff.
It really is.
Like, I wish I got into the Goons a little more. I sadly didn't get to mint one, so yeah, I'm gonna find a chance to get one because I really want.
And
one.
actually, that trip that I mentioned when I was there trying to mint it, he was there,
Yeah.
and I told him I was like, mint this. I'm telling you, I told his brother.
Yep, he told everybody there.
I was like, and his brother listened to me. His brother bought one recently. It's
Wait.
actually
His brother is my brother as well, Shane.
yeah okay. Okay, all the viewers now finally know. Hey, they're brothers, and I'm their cousin. So that one right there is actually I don't even know if we have it on if we get it on camera, but
yeah, it's there.
basically that is their other brother's NFT, and I told them at mint. I
Name
was
drop.
like,
Name drop.
Jason, you want to say Jason?
Jason Eccleston.
I told him, buy this. This is gonna be a good project. I haven't seen one like this. And
So Shane, I mean,
sound
listen.
just now.
Yeah, funny.
All right,
My biggest issue is this, right? While I listen to you, I've listened to you on a few other projects, and so far it didn't
I
pan
get it.
out. So
I
like,
get it.
I was in that mode of, man, this is gonna be not a good one. I was completely wrong. I should have freaking.
I have more winners
Was
than
it-
losers.
Hold on, Cody.
It wasn't Banana Funko.
I was about to say, was it because of Banana Funko?
Hey, it was up there. I almost bought into that, but
I have more winners than losers. I never ask my clients to trust me, to take me for. What is the quote?
You screwed it
Wolf
up.
of Wall Street. Do you know the quote? I never ask my clients to judge me on my winners. I ask them to judge me on my losers because there are so few. Bang. Bang. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. All right. Thank you all for watching. This was a fun episode. Hope you learned something.
I had a lot of fun on this one. Yep.
We'll see you guys all next time. Actually, I won't be here for the next episode, so we might
We will be having a stand.
we might have a stand-in for that episode. I'm gonna be in Punta Cana, so
Yeah, you gotta have fun on your little vacation.
I'll be away. Maybe I'll FaceTime in for a little bit. Give you guys a
Nick, I'll tell you what. Our next conversation though is gonna be very interesting, and I'm glad she's not
teasing
teasing
it?
for this one.
teasing a little bit.
I don't even know what we're talking about, so.
Wow. Okay. What's next?
What's next? What's next? What's next?
If you enjoyed the content in this episode, make sure to check out our entire channel, check out our socials, check out our streams. We're talking about good stuff all day. Follow, like, subscribe. We'll talk to you guys next time.